Hey guys, Evan here again. Welcome back to the channel. As someone that has launched over 500 short-term rentals, I can tell you that it boils down to the 3 O's: observe, optimize, operate. Right now, let's talk about observe. Somebody comes to me with a deal. They say, hey Evan, I have a 3-bedroom for you in San Diego, kind of like the one I'm standing in now. Before I do anything else, I get on my computer, I go to 2 websites. I go to AirDNA and Zillow. The first thing I'm looking for on AirDNA is how many 3-bedrooms there are. I don't care what they make, I don't care what they look like, I just want to know the quantity. Type in my zip code, come to the tab that shows it, and now I know. In this zip code in downtown San Diego, there's less than 100 3-bedrooms. That's a good sign. Part 2 is I go on Zillow. How many available 3-bedrooms are there for lease or for sale? That's going to give me a good idea of how many currently exist and how many could exist. But I don't stop there. The next thing I want to know is who's staying there. In a city like San Diego, we have 36 million visitors a year. Well, who are those visitors? For a city like this, it's high family that's coming to this market. So that means kids, that means parents, that means multiple families that are traveling together. Well, that's a good sign, especially because they're gonna wanna stay in my 3 bedrooms that have a hot tub, amenities, fire pits, barbecues, and all the other things that a hotel room can't really give them. But I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna go back to AirDNA, and now I'm gonna go to the revenue tab, and I'm gonna see who is doing it right. I'm gonna go to the top 10, and I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom and see who's doing it wrong. Well, what are they doing right and wrong? Is it their photos? Is it their amenities? Is it their occupancy rate? Is it their reviews? What are they doing that's gonna differentiate them from everyone else? And then what can I do to differentiate myself from them? So if we go back to the top 10 and I see that all of them have a hot tub, but none of them have a game room, now I know, okay, if the family's looking, they're gonna look at the top 10 most likely. That's what's gonna appear on the algorithm, but mine's gonna stand out because I gave them something that the rest of them didn't have. So very important to know, to observe, what can I do to differentiate myself, to position myself in that market? And one last thing, physically go to the space, okay? I can observe all day from a computer screen, but there's things you can't see in the photos. For example, the unit I'm standing in is very close to the freeway. It's also very close to the flight path, right? Those are 2 things that are very important. Now, it's not a deal breaker for me. I know it's still gonna do well, but I have to bake that into my equation and factor that in and say, okay, as long as I can put warnings of that in the copyright, as long as I can show photos of that in the drone footage, I can set that expectation for the guest. Yeah, sure, my revenue might go down a little bit, but for me, it's still worth it if the numbers pencil and I can get the deal at a good enough rate. So later on, we'll be talking about the other 2 parts, but for now, if you have any questions involving short-term rentals, please comment the word Airbnb below and I'll reach out.